All right. Welcome back to 20 Sided Tales, episode 68 in the Tides of Time, part 2. Where we last left our heroes, the Scarlet Vanguard, had already delved to great depths and begun to scour the ruins of Lake Anaki, all in search of activating one sigil crest after the next, in the hopes of anchoring these fathoms to the material world and therefore nullifying the spatial collapses which had effectively been barring them from the source of these woes. In the throes of the third sigil, our heroes were ensnared by a whirlpool and set upon by throngs of these aberrant beings, some once men, some once elves, but now all creatures of eldritch horror and evil. As this clash came to its final blows, it was our heroes who drifted aloft victorious, and the filth of this hostile ilk which flitted about the current, but one had been spared. The being once known as Ty, a dock worker from Bevel Bay, had been chained to the sigil, and after some contemplation and an act of moral charity, divine magic was invoked upon him, releasing his mind for the time being, and so too was he then released from these chains. In thanks, he swam onward until eventually fleeting from view. With all these aberrations dealt with, Agnesia was called upon once again and cast her power down to the sigil crest, activating yet another one of these anchor points, the third out of the 4 you sought. And therein she sensed the final of these anchors to the southeast of her current location. And in your connection to the sigil and the surrounding region, once again, Agnesia, you were racked with emotions that were alien to your own. A sadness as you honed into that final point. And as you came back to your senses, the rest of the party looking on, waiting for you. Our heroes, here in a broken shelf of rubble and coral, took a moment's reprieve and now reconvene to continue their aquatic adventure. And that is where the game begins.
Oh, southeast. Where we gotta go?
Was this the last one? To the southeast?
More.
Wait, do we have one
Correct.
more? Or 2? Oh, thank goodness.
One. Just one. It's very sad. There's something there. Sad, or something that creates sadness. Every time I've closed one, I've felt it. Heading towards that one. It's just a warning. Something sad is there.
If I remember correctly, whatever was released here, doesn't exactly have a purpose anymore. Imagine life without a purpose. I'd be sad too.
So what are you saying?
I feel like if it was... Sorry, go ahead, Alikos.
This thing, whatever it is, it was made or birthed or for some sort of purpose that it no longer has suit for?
It was something that existed before time. Chained down, something like that.
Before time?
Can't really be destroyed. Well, time is a social construct anyway, but yes, put simply, before time. Before us little things crept around the earth.
How could something occur, be under the ocean on this plane, before time? I mean...
It's not from this plane, right? Can you say it came through or was sealed here or something?
It came...
Alien, that's for sure.
It was... Sorry, I'm trying to remember from last game.
Yeah.
I believe it was trapped between planes. And this I believe this cat burglar, you call them?
Yeah.
I believe they,
seen them come up.
yes, they mess with things they ought not to and release this entity.
Wait,
You told me yesterday, not yesterday, earlier, it was held here? Some sort of elder god or servant of an elder god?
Yes,
Trapped here?
trapped by whatever existed before.
elder god? Like, before the gods?
I think so.
Perhaps.
Or some servant of it. It might not actually be an elder god itself. Sana, I think that's what you said.
Sorry, say again, I was reading.
No, it's okay. Your book can really withstand water. That's really interesting. No, I was saying that it might not be a god. It could have been one of the servants of the god that was locked here. That's what we talked about. Because if it is a god, and we walk in there, what do? We die?
Well, no,
We
either
try.
way, this creature's obviously extremely powerful to be able to lock something into this would generate a lot of power, and if that amount of power couldn't have ended its life, I hope we don't meet it. But it seems that in order to fix what is happening here, we're going to have to get near it anyway.
Don't think it's at the Southern Sigil. Southern.
It should be
Southern
in the
Sigil.
center.
Yes, it should be in the center. So whatever's sad or causing me to feel this sorrow every time I close a portal, a sigil, don't think it's it.
This sadness, is it caused when you close it, or is it just you're tapping into what it's feeling currently?
That's a good question. Dan, was it
Roll a
pointing
insight.
me? Yeah.
It's hard to place. All you can ascertain is that it is not your own sensation. So you're not sure if it's caused by what you're doing or if it's something pre-existing that you're just tapping into in the moment. Unsure.
I don't know. It's just sadness. It's sorrow, and it's very strong, and it's not mine. So
Well, it's not anger. Sadness can be dealt with peacefully. Well, all emotions can, but I think we have hope going into this.
yeah, as much as I want to rest because that battle was hard, I worry the longer we're down here, the worse it's going to get. And Alikos, you said you had a bit of a time limit on that thing that helps you fight against them. I don't want to run up that time limit, wasting it sleeping. If we can just go in and do it. I think we go. If everyone is able, I think we keep going.
I'm pretty tapped out, magic-wise, but I've survived without it before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll be fine.
When we rested quickly, I got a bit of my power back, but certainly not all of it. It'll be what it'll have to be, though.
We just have
I
to
don't
keep
wanna know.
pushing forward.
I don't want to know what happens if we go in there and Alikos gets mind slammed or something, and then wasted something given to him by a god. Okay, come on. Let's go.
Do you
Well,
have those headaches too?
We're so deep underwater. Yes, I have a headache. Let's go. I'll point them in the south-southwest, where I feel the pull.
It is utterly dark down in the depths of this lake. but there is a bleak disk of sunlight that can be seen high above the surface. You cast your eyes upon it and correlate somewhat your positioning, coercing with some of your party members and deducing a direction, as well going off of this gut feeling that you now have a few times you've made a connection to the region via the sigil crests. Roll me a wisdom check as you start to guide the party off, traipsing and paddling through the deep, through this broken shelf of almost alien looking coral and rubble.
I cast guidance on myself.
You can. That is to
Wisdom check.
say, every so often when you're unsure, you sort of stop and
Mhm.
you invoke this power, the wisdom of
Yeah.
Ondori and your personal sense of charisma and character to be certain of your direction. So go ahead.
So wisdom check.
Yeah.
Come on, Agni. Okay.
Plus a d4.
Yep.
So 18.
18.
And although she does stop at times and her eyes kind of become this light, and there are moments where you're unsure of which turns to take and which direction to circumvent the rubble of the lake bed, ultimately you do feel a certainty. And you guys all continue forward for the next hour, maybe 2 hours. Time is hard to gauge as you're traveling here, and you're being cautious of those collapses happening once again, those rippling waves. But with the work you've put in so far, the Scarlet Vanguard is able to travel for this hour to 2 hours through the waters without being accosted by these breaks in reality. The lake bed remains still, for the most part. In the distance as you're going, there's a few times where Adlin, this higher sense of awareness, not quite seeing things, but a tingle on the back of the neck, sensation of being watched, or something just lingering off beyond the light sources your party provides. But regardless, you guys have made it safe thus far, and that's when you see it. It's unlike any of the other anchor crests in the sense that all the others seem to keep the lake bed around it intact, whereas everything else was suffering from the spatial collapses and almost as if it was in this blender. The area around the sigils would always be still. But here, you see an area in total disrepair. There are floating chunks of driftwood as if still settling. Massive craters, one of which you are swimming through and over right now. Just a total quarry of destruction. And in its very center, what you think to be the sigil crest, or what is left of it, it itself appears damaged from a distance. And you can see, similar to the very first one, when you would face the construct known as the Predator, this one is flickering with lightning in a disruptive and damaged sort of fashion. As well, there's these other little baubles of light here and there, occasionally. Small wisps, little phosphorescent balls that drift like a glowing dander throughout the area.
Okay. And I roll some sort of perception check or something. I want to see if I can see what happened. Like, is how fucked up did the sigil get? Does it look unusable?
You do not have enough detail from the distance you're at. The only
Okay,
thing
I wasn't sure how far
illuminating
I
it,
was.
you're roughly 120 feet away. You've come over one of these destructive craters of the lake bed, and you're kind of right on the rim of it, looking over. And it's about 100 or so feet away from you, and the only light source is the lightning around it that is little quick flashes of dim light.
Okay, then can I instead look for anything hidden? And are we walking into an ambush again? Because we literally just walked into an ambush.
What would you like to roll to figure this out?
Perception.
you trying? Okay, perception. So you focusing on your senses, and go ahead, roll a perception check as you scan the area. At least what you can make out with some detail.
Oh,
And all you can see is within about a 60-foot radius of the cracked and visibly damaged sigil. Just broken bits of rock. This whole place has been smashed into bits and pieces, with the occasional large crater and bits of driftwood and other random wreckage floating amidst. But no life sources. The closest thing to a life source maybe are these little phosphorus lights, little marble-sized nodes that seem to drift and list off in all areas that you can see. Doesn't seem to be any particular pattern to them.
How big did you say they were? They're just small?
Like marbles, but they
Yeah.
vary. Some are about the size of a golf ball, maybe a bit larger, baseball. But they all just give off the faintest foot of dim light.
Just to check, Sana touches her orb, and as she does, she brings her hand up, and a glowing hand kind of follows, and I send it out to one of the marble-sized one. I mage hand, I just kind of tap it, seeing if it does anything.
Alright, roll a whatever your spell casting ability check. So intelligence for you, I believe.
Yep.
As you actually have to make the attempt. It's not something so easily done. In the sense that it is sentient. As your hand comes out towards it, quickly flits and fluctuates its positioning, almost stuttering and moving away. And it begins to increase in size. What was about a marble or a golf ball size grows, expands to about maybe a soccer ball. And then what look to be long strands of hair or some kind of
Oh no!
tentacle-like semi-ethereal cilia begin to pour out the back of it. And it's a ball-like form as the hair or whatever is rolling out the back. The face is rolling upward as you see this semi-corporeal skeletal face, and now a full-on body just coming out of this, what was just a small light source. It is strange, some sort of ghostly, long-clawed, dreadlocked mer creature, the long, finned lower body, but you can see right through it. It speaks no words, but it just stares in the direction of the hand and brings up its ethereal, spectral claw.
Now with the hand, I kind of like reach out to it, like handshake. Try to keep its attention on the hand. And meanwhile, looking to the others like, we should probably move. Just keeping its attention on the hand.
The creature throws its spectral claws forward in a non-threatening way, almost just creating momentum for it to move backwards, as it does indeed move away from your hand. And it spins around. Some of the other little balls of light in the area begin to unfurl from small sizes to full-on medium-sized spectral ghastly merfolk. A good dozen or more that you can see and beyond, just combing through this destroyed lake bed of rubble and craters. And now they all seem to be congregating in like a horde of zombies, slowly moving past the sigil and towards the crater where you all are.
How long do you think you'll need for that sigil?
at least a minute. It might be broken. Get it? Maybe we can just talk.
I
think they're capable of speech. Maybe this is the sorrow.
Could I do an Arcana check to know if things kind of in between life and death? Are they even cognizant enough to register like what's going on around them?
Yeah, you could do that. You could do that. You could even do nature or insight
Nature.
instead.
Insight's better. All right. Oop, ignore the +3. What do I have +3?
17. These creatures, much to the same elements you're dealing with the ethereal and the border ethereal, seem to be something trapped, an undead spirit that, to the dozen or more that you see, probably each possess their own personality, or perhaps once did, but they are tormented creatures, and now you can externally get a sense for what Agnesia had felt before of these unfortunate souls. And in the turn you guys have taken just to discuss what to do and to assess what they may be, they've already, the closest of them anyhow, have begun to drift up the rock bed to meet you at the lip of the crater where you're all watching from.
Sana, Agni, you two think you can make your way to the sigil? Adeline and I could probably be able to protect you. Maybe if you do that ritual, maybe they'll take them all out.
Just kind of puts the hand up slightly. Just says, they haven't attacked us yet. Give them a moment. Can I kind of swim or float down a little bit slowly to see if I can meet one? Like the one that's coming up closest. If I can.
And they are
forward towards it.
effectively doing the same. So you drift and you meet this ghastly merfolk halfway. Long spectral dreads and a sickly, desiccated, see-through body with a skeletal face and finned lower half.
Myself near it, I guess. I said I did that. Electra is out, so I will put her on the map. If that's okay.
Yes. Sana will accompany you, kind of looking at them with a pained expression.
As you approach with non-hostility, there's immediately a relief upon the skeletal spectral face of this creature. And though it is still ethereal and see-through, you can now see delicate features and something less menacing for you to gaze upon. Something of long pointed ear and of elvish ethnicity. But still no words come from its mouth as it moves its ethereal lips.
I say I only speak common and primordial, so it doesn't really matter. Say in common out loud. Can you understand me?
Now soft face of this specter winces, and the head quirks to the side, signifying via the gesture that it doesn't understand what you were saying.
Can I use Electra, who has limited telepathy on top of my voice of the Chain Master? And post that ability in the chat so we can read it.
What languages does she speak?
Well, I don't think she needs to speak a language because
you do. You're speaking that language into their mind.
But okay, here's the thing: is that we only allow her to speak because of my ability. She has limited telepathy, which is create ideas and images is all she can actually send.
She has limited telepathy. Okay.
Yeah, but
she can do
that. Because of my voice of the Chain Master, you let me use her telepathy through Agnesia, but just her own telepathy is the limited one.
Yeah, then you can start showing images. So what are you trying to express to this being now?
Just kindness. Just also do emotions. Hello, some sort of, mean you no harm. vibe. Just
Mhm.
vibes.
Roll a charisma check. You could do a persuasion.
Sure.
Not bad.
13. Oh, it's bad for Agni, but that's okay.
It doesn't draw itself into a hostile state, but there's still this communication barrier as once again it slowly moves itself backwards, convening with the rest of the spectral congregation, all sort of poised now on one of the large rocks in particular.
Anybody speak anything else? I'll try just to repeat what I said in Primordial, but he doubts that'll work.
Unless
Lana?
these. I'm sorry, I only know Celestial, Common, Primordial. Primordial. Don't think it'll work, but it's worth a shot.
Try anything you've got.
I say, can you understand me in Celestial and Primordial?
There's hurried expressions across all their spectral faces as, with glee, they look to one another, back and forth and back to you. And one of them comes swimming up, while the others now all anxiously look at the sigil. It profusely nods its head, gesturing, yes, yes, it can understand.
To which language did it respond?
Primordial is what she said she
Okay.
spoke.
Yeah, I was gonna say they
Oh,
might be
well, I
sea.
also spoke Primordial. Whoops.
I speak it in
Uh,
water Primordial. Haha. No, yeah. I look to her
Wrong
and I say,
dialect.
Primordial seems to work.
Oh, I just assumed they wouldn't speak that. I'll switch to Primordial and say, you can understand me now?
It nods.
Okay. You can't speak, right? Okay.
It looks to be screaming, and the peaceful face now once again looks like a skeletal one, racked with anguish. And despite the expression of what should be a shrill shriek, you hear nothing. And the face laxes and looks sad and sallow as it looks downward.
You need to activate this sigil so we
It
can
looks
fix
up
what's
to
wrong
you,
down here.
and then it looks beyond you as you're saying this. Crosses its glance back over the Scarlet Vanguard and towards the sigil, and begins slowly moving over towards it.
I will swim
There's
next to it or
a,
follow it.
sensing that acceptance, you swim along as the rest sort of watch on from the rock. All of them now taking these peaceful looking forms to appease your eyes. As it takes you to the sigil, you can see the cracks and the lightning coming off of it, and it kind of interposes itself before you get too close, warning of the dangers via its body language.
If I see anything, I say thank you. If I see anything that looks like is there an off switch? That I something I could see where maybe I could turn it off or a way to like a source that the electricity is coming from.
This entity brings up three of its spectral fingers, these long, bony claws, and then it clenches those fingers down into a fist, which it pounds into and through its other hand, and then points with that hand towards the sigil, and then looks down, sullied.
Need to destroy it. Is that what he's saying? Hit
It
it?
takes its hands, flat palmed and fingers spread, with palms downward and begins doing a rubbing motion, and then brings those two hands together, clasping the fingers through one another. It releases its hands and then points towards all the other spectral entities on the rock. And as it points to them, they all begin to swim and create this slight current, semi-ethereal vortex. And you can almost see with each direction one of them goes, a slight trail, an echo of their path. And in this strange shape and series of movements, you see a shape. It appears to be a square, a three-dimensional square with another three-dimensional square inside, interconnected at all these different points. You see this for a brief instant before it vanishes.
God, my visual brain don't work. Okay. Palms down and then crossing hands. Makes me think of the sign for a turtle, but I don't think that's right. Okay. Box. Is there a box? I see any squares nearby. What's over here? This is kind of lit up.
Yeah, so it creates, it points to, just to repeat, it pointed to the sigil, and then it
Okay.
showed you its hands in a rubbing motion, brought the hands together, clasping the fingers between each other, and then brought them apart. And that seemed to be its own self-contained message. It then pointed to the others, something else entirely, props another avenue for you to explore how to solve this, but points to them, and they all begin to swim in this weird pattern between each other, and they leave like a trail of their movement very briefly. So for about a turn or a couple seconds, you can see this strange shape they've left in their wake, which is kind of like a three-dimensional square with several points coming from its inside to a smaller square within a center, a geometric shape known as a tesseract.
Fourth dimension seal? Maybe?
Yeah, a tesseract is a four-dimensional geometric
Okay.
symbol.
Yeah.
Okay, I see it now. Okay, I had to Google it because my brain not work. Okay.
So essentially, they all came together. They were all together in the center, and then a few of them swam out to make these points. As they all then made, via their swimming, made like the outer cube, and quickly some of them inside made this inner cube and the connecting points, and then like swam out.
Right. Okay, I
Just
see it
briefly
now.
leaving a shape of a tesseract from the current they left.
Okay. Huh. Do I see on the sigil anything that looks like that, or if there is any cubes, inner
No,
cubes?
but with the given knowledge and Sana being a practiced, studied wizard, I'll say you can roll Arcana, Sana, from what you guys are able to get here.
Okay,
The
I feel
social
like
encounter so far.
I feel like I know what they're getting at. Apparently not. All right.
You can make whatever deductions you'd like. An 8. I can't really give you anything more than the clues
Yeah.
you have. But you know the fourth dimension, accessing it is done via the sigils. And this one, as much as you can tell, is broken or near destroyed. And I'll have Ignicia, you can roll an insight as you were the one face to face with this entity, and essentially it was conveying two different options here.
Go.
The first of
21.
them, the rubbing hands and the fingers coming together, saying possibly it can be mended if one had the means. The other option, it was showing you go to the fourth dimension to get to where you need to go.
Okay.
But Sana, you're not exactly sure of how you would get there. Likely not from this sigil, as it is inept or inert, unless it can be fixed. There's a very sudden creaking noise, and the boat, this big bit of wreckage, on the lip of the crater, on the broken lake bed, just begins to shift and slide away from Alikos and Adlin, kicking up some thick, obscuring dirt in their direction. As the wreck just sort of settles and crashes a short distance down. Adlin seems
Whatever
to
we're
sense
doing,
a
we might want to be
disturbance.
quick.
Wait. I don't think I can fix it. I don't have anything to fix it. I don't have anything.
If I'm understanding correctly, it needs to be fixed through the fourth dimension, or the fourth dimensional seal is the only one we have to unlock. Because this one's broken.
I think if we want to open the seal, we have to get there via the fourth dimension. Oh, jeez. Okay. And I have lots of spells that would heal a person. Nothing that would heal rock.
Did I ever finish ritual casting Comprehend Languages?
You would have been able to do so around this time, though.
Okay, yeah. I just start taking a look around the seal, see if there's anything I can learn that I haven't learned from the others.
Alright, roll an investigation.
Oh my goodness!
That's really
So
rough.
Fauna's going about this alone. I just want to get everyone's position. So you're kind of coursing around the sigil now, looking at whatever is discernible. Adlin, you've stayed back at the crater, keeping watch. And Alikos, you just kind of made your way, watching Ignatia's back. Got it. Yeah,
So what
10,
seems to be the
you're
problem?
unsure.
Does anybody have any sort of spells that can fix something?
You're asking-
No, I don't got anything.
Anybody? Alikos?
What seems to be the problem? Oh, excuse me.
This thing is broken.
Broken in what way? Looks normal to me.
She points at all of the cracks in it.
Well, just mend it. As he's gonna try something. I don't know if it's gonna work, but the water in the cracks, he's going to focus on try to freeze the water. So hopefully I mean, I'm saying this as a player, not as a character. I'm guessing that maybe because the water's frozen over, the sigils can like fully lay out instead of just being cracked. And but I was just thinking, you just fill the cracks with ice, boom, no more cracks. But yeah, he's going to try to fill with shape water and try to all the water that's in the cracks turn to ice. See if it can give enough of a solid surface for the runes to be able to take hold, I guess.
Roll a wisdom check.
Okay.
Oh, babe.
19. Today's my night.
It is.
Alikos, you point forward, wielding the living staff of the stewards, and indeed, as you invoke your powers over nature, some of the cracks begin to fill with ice, and you can see some effect has taken root. Likely temporary, but you've begun to make some progress. But you can see it will likely take more than just mending these cracks with ice. Some of the stone itself has been defaced and eroded. You may not have the magical know-how how to replace some of these glyphs, but amongst your party members, you feel you would. And you do have further abilities to meld and mend.
Yeah, one moment.
Nobody has the mending cantrip by any chance?
No.
That's funny.
Nope.
I think
Trap.
Maybe. If someone can... something about these runes, they stop glowing when they reach a crack. Maybe if you try to fix the runes like the chain of a fence. A piece of chain doesn't work if one of the links is broken, so fix the links. I'll keep the ice there as long as I can.
I mean, I could break it more, but I don't think I could fix it.
Carve on the ice then.
I would not. I don't think that's how that. It's not how that spell works as written, but I don't know if I could use it.
Essentially,
Because greater.
the glyphs, the circle of glyphs are incomplete. There are chunks missing. So even when he fills the ice back up, there's little blanks that need to be filled in this arcane equation.
Sana, do you have anything you could write with? You could fill in where it's missing? Smart gal.
I have my quill, but writing underwater, that's...
It's ice, so you would likely need something that can...
Here,
etch.
Adeline's
Like
like
we're all
pulling out
just
a pit.
fools.
I have a small knife to etch, though I'd need to go through the lightning. Which I might be able to withstand long enough to do it, but then there comes with the jerking of being electrocuted.
Wait a minute. Adeline, what's that in your hand over there?
Oh, you mean this large chunk of metal?
No, the other hand.
Oh, this other large chunk of metal?
Covered in large chunks of metal.
If it could break ice, toss it over here, would you?
Oh yeah, here's a pit, and then for the electricity, here's that one piece that we've been sitting there messing. Oh wait.
You will have to get closer because you cannot throw a pit in 60 feet underwater.
That's true. Damn. All right, I will get
closer. Good thinking, Adeline. That's really good thinking.
You have to get at least 20 feet away from Alikos. As you do, with your passive perception, passive investigation, you notice that a lot of the damage is not chaotic, it is deliberate. And it gut checks you with a familiarity.
Uh-oh.
Kind of like what that happened in the other one, isn't it?
In the other one, someone had used a blade or slashing weapon of sorts and done some damage, but didn't destroy it. But on the other sides of the traps from the sigil, there was a huge, devastating blow in the ground from some type of bludgeoning or force impact. This denotes the latter.
Something big.
I think we're all gonna need to be real careful. Either way. Fair warning.
I gives a nod, and then Mage hands her small knife to see if she can get it in there to start etching the runes. Yeah. Oh, and you gave me this, Adlin. I take out the oculary. What exactly does it do?
It helps you see things that are in different places. Take a look. Just look through it.
I'll look through it.
You look through it, and all these spectral beings look like living beings, likely as they once did.
Hmm.
You can see the crystal-like tears perpetually rolling down their cheeks, and aspects of them, details that you couldn't notice before.
Did you get my whisper?
Yeah, you have no idea what would happen if you did that.
Can't do an Arcana check or something. Yeah.
There's no basis to ascertain it upon.
Screw it. This doesn't pertain to this, but this is more for me. And I approach, put a hand to my orb, use a charge to unprepare sending... No, I can't unprepare that. That's from the crystal. Unprepare... Oh, God. Do blur and prepare remove curse. Now we'll do haste and prepare remove curse. I go up to this one. Am I able to put a hand on it?
Roll a charisma check to see if it allows you.
Yeah, I kind of... I mean, I'm not very intimidating, but... 17!
Nice
You're
job.
tangible in a way. Feel as though you could pass through it if you push too hard, but you're able to make some contact with it. It is cold to the touch, beyond reason, sending tingles from your fingertips to your shoulders throughout the rest of your body.
I look to all of them and say, it's a bit of a long shot, but I might be able to help one of you move on from this place. I might. I cannot promise, but there's hope.
It brings up its hand to wave you away after you say this to it in Primordial. You get the sense it would rather cast itself with the lot of the many to be the one that was saved.
Look to the others and I say, do you all feel the same? There is no dishonor in wanting a release from this. You've all been suffering for I cannot imagine how long.
They all stand tall and poise themselves almost like soldiers at the ready. Shoulders broad and chins held high.
Using the oculary, they're all adults? Are there any, like, children?
They're all adults,
Yeah.
men and women.
Yeah. I nod my head and step back. All right.
Maybe we can
The
try
lightning
to.
has, in this time, broken away what ice was formed. Chunks.
Did the lightning remain when the ice was there?
Yep.
Okay.
And he hadn't done enough of it to get a full effect, but had done enough to glean that this was doable with his druidic powers and the efforts of the rest of you.
Alikos, why don't you just try to cover the whole thing? And then Sana and I can try to out where the runes are. The Adlin as well. Work quickly.
Yeah, I can try.
Thank you.
As I was going to attempt to do so.
Give him guidance.
Roll another wisdom check with guidance.
Uh-oh, we're in danger. 8.
This time, as you begin to lay the ice into the foundations and remedy what destruction had been laid here, you only cause further ramifications and negative results as the cracks just seem to widen and the damage worsens.
Uh-oh.
No.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
It's okay. It's okay.
The specters have their faces drawn, looking hopeless, but still cling to something.
This isn't how the spell works, but greater restoration can affect things like petrification, which has to do with stone. And I was wondering if I could fandangle it.
Do it.
It's also a risky guess because that's 100 gold worth of diamonds. Something that might not even work. But I mean, if
You're
a
not
mending
you're
cantrip
not
might
sure
do
what
something.
effects this might have. The weave of magic is a fickle thing.
Yeah. I don't have a lot of spell slots. I mean, we're underwater, so I don't know, but I could heat it up. Stone pliable when it's heated up. Heated, yeah. Heat it. Hit. Oh my god. Heated. That's the past tense of heat. I
Start
could
ritual.
try.
Yeah.
Just
Oh, that's smart.
well, maybe magical effects cannot pass through it, but I've never tested casting my hut on something that's already being affected by magical effects.
I mean, it
But
seems like that would just trap it inside, wouldn't it?
one way to find out.
And
Kind of
you
sit
with it, right?
cross-legged. As
Give it
I
a
said,
shot.
one way.
Bet.
And I start ritual casting it.
During that 10 minutes, anybody know anything about stone masonry or smithing? When you heat up stone, it gets more pliable, doesn't it?
I don't think so, but I'm not
No,
a.
is that just metal?
I know metal does. Don't know about stone. I'm not an expert myself.
Okay.
Oh yeah, and hold on a minute. God, Sana's already going. And Adeline's going to take and he's looking to see any of these cracks on this. Does it look like one is a decent size, like maybe about an inch or two across?
There are many cracks. So there is one that is an inch across, likely, probably
Yeah.
several.
In that case, I'm going to sit there, pull out that piece of metal from the predator, kind of just hold it up and look at Agni like, hey, if we can at least put this in one of the cracks, at least while we're working on this, y'all shouldn't be electrocuted.
Why don't we time that right when Sana's about to finish her casting? 'Cause right now she's sitting on the edge of it. If we hold that
Okay.
until right about she's about to finish,
No,
and then we divert it.
She knows her spell is gonna go off right where she's sitting right now.
Yeah, it does a
It's her at the
Don't
center.
worry. Assuming, well,
Right.
I can't talk, but I have another idea for when this goes off. Assuming it
I
works.
more meant like so that it doesn't trap this part in with her. If we diverted slightly, then it wouldn't be in the area that she's finishing, right?
So you want to see how big her area is, and then put it in her bubble to help her from anything that's in the bubble.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, in that case, yeah, and Adeline will just kind of step up to here and have the shard like ready to run in and jam it. Actually, he'll probably be about right there because he's realizing he's holding. He's like, maybe not so close just yet.
All right, on your mark, whenever you are ready. She's casting her ritual, so you're waiting for her to finish?
Yeah. That way I could put this at the furthest edge away from her inside the bubble.
Her ritual is right about to finish. Nearly 10 minutes have passed.
All
Almost
right.
happened in that time, save for the occasional shifting of nearby rubble.
The guidance on Adeline.
Try to just plant this right here.
Yeah, roll a sleight of hand. As you quickly jump in at the last moment.
Wait. Oh god.
As is tradition.
As you go to stab in this shard, it does indeed start attracting all this lightning. right
Love
into
that
your
press.
arm and through your body. Let's roll a Constitution saving throw.
Oh my god. The lightning's all still here.
You take 25 lightning damage and are jettisoned 10 feet away from the sigil. Poof!
Did any of the lightning in the area get with her spell?
Yeah, I'm assuming all this lightning's
Roll a d100.
me or her.
Whoever wants to.
Go ahead.
I don't think I have a fortune save. I'll do it. Here we go, baby. 88. I don't know what that means.
Lightning within the dome, after it all got attracted to him in the center, does not refill within the dome. So there is a small chunk now, half of the sigil just about, that it's free of lightning.
That's even better. As I move over to the edge of my dome and crouch and begin get ready to cast it again, I look to all of them and say, bit by bit.
I bet.
The congregation of specters kind of looks to each other, just nodding and
Like, what are they up
impressed.
to?
But you also notice, Adlin, that they seem to be on guard cautiously. A few of them will be looking around over their shoulders now and again as time passes, and more rubble sifts in the area.
Is now that Alikos is in there, Alikos, can you try again? Maybe now that the lightning isn't there, it won't be cracking the thing.
That's clever.
I don't know if there's anything else. Hold on. This is incredibly important. Got this, okay? Bardic inspiration and guidance.
Oh, let's go. Okay. Wisdom
All right,
save.
seeing the culmination of the Scarlet Vanguard, everyone working together once again, so close to your goal of bringing down whatever lays ahead, you ready yourself to freeze over and mend this portion of the sigil. Go ahead and roll your wisdom check.
Oh, and then is it D6 or D8?
Yeah,
D6.
6 and D4.
19. Nice.
Okay, that is enough. As you
Oh my
begin
goodness.
to focus your powers, refill these cracks, but carefully so, being mindful of the powers you are putting out, just enough to fill the space, but not push it further than its damaged form will allow. As you gently and carefully carry through with this, in about that same amount of time, Sana is about to complete her next tiny hut, moving the dome over. Before that happens, is there anything else you guys were doing?
The second the ice got over, we had come to the conclusion that sigil needed have the runes carved into it. Is that
You'd have to decipher this arcane equation, deduce its meaning, input the missing bits of the code, so to speak,
okay?
and then re-invoke it, or give it a kickstart, a jolt of arcane juice.
Okay. Okay. So can Adlin or somebody trying to figure out what this thing is supposed to say? So we can figure out what needs to go in?
Is anyone proficient in Arcana?
No. Surprisingly.
How is the wizard never been
Wow.
in Arcana?
Don't worry
Oh my
about it.
God.
We all make
Oh
choices.
my God. None of us are.
Did you
proficient in
graduate from
Arcana.
university?
You could do investigation
No.
as well.
I don't have a
Okay,
lot.
well, Adlin's good at investigation.
What am I looking up?
Looking for the
Have
pattern in it
insight.
to see where like the lines go and like what's missing.
Okay. All right, we'll see what I can do.
Guidance.
Hello. Just give me rolls.
You have
Okay,
no
16.
idea what you're looking at.
Yeah, look, really, I have no clue. I barely understand how this arm works.
Okay. What about Sana? I know you're just about to finish. Would your comprehend languages be useful here? You said you had that.
She is an arcane spellcaster, so she could try. You just don't have your proficiency bonus, so
I mean, it's up, right? I cast it before and then looked around and failed at that. It's up for an hour.
Right.
And also,
right now you're focusing on bringing.
Yeah,
up
I was gonna
another
say I
half.
can't talk. Her eyebrow
okay.
just like twitches a
So you
little
can't
bit.
really
You can tell
begin
she's
putting your
getting
mind to investigate these ruins. But you do finish your next hat.
And Adeline will
If-
run
if
in
you
with
wa-
me.
Okay.
touchy.
Roll a sleight of hand.
Oh, shit. Okay, there we go. A 26.
Epic.
26. You run in, and it all goes through your arm once again, coursing through your body. But you're able to drive yourself with enough forward momentum to kind of throw your hand outside of the dome. You still have to roll a con save.
100%. Con save. 19.
All right. So you take half damage, and there's no longer lightning here. So you take 13 lightning
man.
damage. As the shard is just like rigor mortis stuck in your hand right now. Your whole body is kind of twitching, but then you shirk free of it. As the dome and the sigil is now free of lightning, halfway mended with ice, but the equation's still uncracked.
Okay.
Ended. Well.
Figure
Oh,
out
no,
this
I've gone blind.
equation.
Yes. Kind of gets up and now having a closer look at the runes than before. Can I roll again?
You can roll investigation or arcana.
For guidance.
The same. So I'm gonna do Arcana. Guidance 2. Brilliant.
You also guidance yourself
Ooh.
and get double guidance.
I don't
No,
have
you
guidance.
cannot. You cannot. Okay, a 23 is enough though. With your comprehend languages up, you can piece together the alphabet and see the missing portions of this jigsaw sigil. Still, Alikos is going to have to mend the other side, but you can begin cracking with the help of the others, etching the runes in on the right hemisphere.
All right. Well, Alikos, my last bardic inspiration and guidance. Double it up. Let's go. I'll try and help, I guess.
That is another druid spellcasting ability for you, Alikos.
Yep. Nice.
Hey.
Oh. And
Yes,
bardic and
25.
Oh, so good.
and guidance, my dude. Damn it.
25.
And truly getting a knack for things here, you become this extension of the world tree and totally mend this. That now has this kind of glistening element to it where the ice has like filled the cracks and such, but you've taken care to not cover up the original sigils too much, just the right deliberate amount of power being used here. And in the time you've done that, they've finished the one half of the jigsaw puzzle, filling in some etchings in the cracks, finishing a portion of that arcane sentence, and looking to the left hemisphere, getting ready to complete it.
Y'all tell me what I can do to help at this point.
Finish the
Maybe you
ruins.
can decipher. I gave guidance.
She'll need to roll Arcana once again.
I don't think I have anything else to give to help.
I'll have to roll Arcana?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay. Guidance.
Adeline can give you help if you'd like, with your attention to detail being
Yeah, I
your high
definitely will.
I will gladly accept.
Less understanding the magic, but seeing the alphabet and
That don't look right.
already. Yeah.
Right. Advantage. Here we go. 27.
At 27, And once again, this is all just sort of flowing to you, and with each piece that you refill, each etching, more of these murghast begin to surround you all. Their sadness somewhat lifted as they look with inspired yet sallow faces.
Well, the moment it's done, Agni drops to her knees in the center and starts. Once she gets the thumbs up, she goes.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. We had to be recharged first, you said? Did you say that? Yeah.
Yes.
So if I cast it right now, it won't work. So I'm not a fool. Hold on. Mama didn't raise no fool. Do I have a feeling of what might be able to do that? Sana, do you have something that can charge this thing? Some sort of magic you can expend into it? Something I need to do?
With the great arcanas you rolled thus far and your general know-how, just the catalyst, some kind of component, usually gems.
My crystal orb.
A diamond count?
My crystal orb work.
Whatever it is would likely be consumed.
Oh fuck. Language. Sorry.
How dare you? Okay. I feel like I just have to like put some on, or would I have to use some sort of spell with it?
Shoot, that one.
You would be not spending a spell slot per se, but investing your powers into this focus and letting that funnel into the sigil, just kind of reawakening its inert state.
As Sana was exiting, I hand her a little sack that does have my diamonds in it, because I have way too much diamond to accidentally let it all get consumed right now. It decides to consume everything in the area. But I'll take out, I don't even know what a normal acceptable amount would be. I'm gonna guess 100 gold worth, because that's the amount necessary for a spell as strong as Greater Restoration. And I will deal with that. See if I can do something with it. Place it in the center, kind of roll some magic, see if that works.
Alright.
Cast light type thing.
Yeah, you begin to focus on this, and instantly the diamond shatters, and these sparkling specks begin to drift about and swirl around you and lay themselves, embossing themselves into the ruins all around. There's a slight glimmer and a sheen that goes clockwise around.
Need to mark off 100 gold. Okay, so the second it feels lit up, look at Sana as if for like a thumbs up. Like, yes.
Yeah, I give you a thumbs up, and
And I'm casting. I'll
Roll your
do my spell
charisma,
slot.
your
Yeah.
spellcasting ability.
Okay. Don't fuck me. Fucked
Uh-oh.
me. I'm going to use my inspiration to roll that again.
nice.
Yes.
Not once. Oh, much better.
Epic.
Ooh. You would have been lost in
20.
the fourth dimension.
Over the course
Yeah.
of the next minute, Agnicia begins to throw her power into the final sigil crest to bring down the spatial collapses and at long last let you traverse to the center of Lake Anaki's ruins and to face the eldritch horror that waits for you. Near the culmination of this reactivation and realignment of the anchor point, the Murghast around you make gestures as though they are invoking as well. And you cannot hear them, but they give the sense that they are chanting alongside of her. In a final flash, her power blasts into the ground. Agnesia, as your hair flies back behind you, and you can see Alikos kind of bringing up his arm, sheltering his eyes, Sana and Adlin doing the same. They are freeze frame. Even the bubbles around you, everything is frozen, except for these specters. As they complete the turning of this anchor point and send you to the fourth dimension, you feel yourself about to be sucked into some sort of portal within yourself as you're looking upon space without time.
I see they're casting something to get
They're
rid
not
of me?
casting something. You were activating this, doing what you needed to do, and at the very last moments, they seem to be doing something extra. You're unsure.
Do I feel like I'm in danger right now?
Roll an
Like-
insight.
Sorry. 15. Is that enough?
Strangely, you do not, but you feel something immense is about to happen. Already, this is beyond comprehension. You're seeing everybody just frozen in time. Even the bubbles are nothing is moving around you.
I feel like I can move.
You feel like you're about to be sucked into yourself. Your whole mass is coming down to a pinpoint.
Okay. So a dimension door is not going to help me. Oh god. Oh fuck. Okay.
Are you resisting? Roll a charisma saving throw if you resist. As you begin to resist and time slowly begins to pick up once again, these bubbles slowly start to drift. And around your friends behind them, you can see rubble slowly starting to move and form up on itself. Little rocks begin to pile up into massive mounds. Slowly, your friends haven't noticed yet, but you are in a light speed currently. And roll your charisma save as you resist.
Well, you said I didn't feel like I was in danger. My 15, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I should resist.
It's a split-second choice, even though time is frozen in that second.
You must decide quickly.
Flip a coin.
I'm gonna be so upset if I die. I'm gonna be so upset if I die. I'll literally actually cry in real life. These things have showed no aggression. They want to help me. I'm not going to resist.
And suddenly, before all of your eyes, as the light vanishes,
That was a mistake.
Agnesia is gone. The rest of you can see, though, rising up from the rubble around you, animate boulders begin to take on hulking mass and move forward with a rolling hostility.
Oh,
And
son of a
that's-
bitch.
But in that same time, Agnesia, at the speed of light, you find yourself vanishing, traveling upwards, downwards, side to side, and twisting all at the same time. And you can see everybody else still moving at near stopped speed. These rocks still slowly forming and coming after them. As then suddenly, poof, you were brought through some threshold. You feel yourself go through a wall of force, and all of your mass goes from that small point to poof, expanding out as you take on physical form once again. You see yourself standing in a room. There are windows or openings along some of the walls. You can see waterfalls that would flow out of them, but the water is still stopped in time. There are fountains in this room as well, but the ripples do not move a single bit. In the center of this room you've come to, there is a dais of stone, a sarcophagi on top, with the impression of a woman. Suddenly,
Can I move?
as you move, there's a ripple through this whole place. You can see it. The very reality ripples, and the water begins to flow once again. You can hear the pools, and you can hear the waterfalls going out the windows. As you move towards the center of the room, you see out the windows familiar sights, but different, ancient horizons. Beacon Hill, as it stood eons ago, and Lake Anaki below you, and lights glowing from underneath the surface of the water, representing that there was a city below, and that what you now just know as rubble and ruins was in fact some metropolis. And you were in one of the spires that juts up above the waters, high up, near cloud reaching.
Where am I in the room?
Just walking towards the center. Warm sunlight shines in.
I'll approach
And
the
you are
sarcophagus.
you reach up to it. As you start coming up the dais, you can feel the sun, and you were in a place transcending time, maybe just an imprint of a time that once was. And something begins to rise from the sarcophagi to meet you. This spectral essence, a slow rising mist of a somewhat bluish shade. Sort of this gasping like noise. As it all reforms together to create this spectral woman. Long pointed ears and long silky silvery hair, her whole form somewhat invisible, and she stands there wearing what appears to be a glistening diamond dress. She looks up to you with bright eyes. As she begins to speak, the whole place sounds like a song, like 1,000 heavenly chimes ringing. It takes you a moment to realize what you're hearing to be celestial. And then for you to
I
just kind of hear it in a language that's more familiar to you, it starts to come through as common.
have been learning Celestial for the last couple of months. I might know a couple of words in there, but I definitely don't know all
And
of
in
it.
this moment, it kind of carries you forward and brings more of a synchronicity to your understanding. She essentially, the first thing she says is, Halanas, like salutations, and she greets you and brings out her hand and goes to walk you over to one of the fountains.
Follow. You're cutting out just a little bit.
As she walks up to you and you take her hand and walk you over to one of the fountains, her ethereal form from your touch, and then going through her hand, up her arm, the rest of her body, almost like paint, life just fills her. You can see the fair skin, the true physical tangible form, near white blonde hair, bright golden eyes, almond shaped, the long elvish ears, and an ancient elf, truly as they are. More ostentatious than a high elf, she is very light and naturally graceful. She begins to walk you over to this fountain. With each step you take, you begin to feel this place tremor more. It's not until you reach the edge of the fountain and you're looking through the windows to either side of it that you realize the tower you're in is now sinking, but at a slowed rate of time. That's what you feel. The cloud-reaching tower sinks into Lake Anaki. She brings you to the pond, still speaking to you in this heavenly tone. Her very voice seems to resonate the waters, and as the waters ripple and change, it creates images of the past, the story of these people. You see the ancient elves when they first arrive, these near featureless creatures with a natural arcane essence about them, looking to the stars from which they came and the stardust of which they were made from, these places beyond, and great congregations and masses of them splitting out to cover a new world, encountering other creatures, lesser humanoids, and steering clear of them. See the great exodus of all these elves, and eventually her people finding Beacon Hill, finding over time the city that lied below, which at one point all of it was floating. You see over many hundreds of years them learning of the secrets of this place. But there's a tragedy. The visions that you see, there's often less and less elves in the backdrops of these images. The once filled halls of the underwater metropolis are now filled with the presence of but a few guards walking in halls, until eventually they're empty, and you see this lonely, ancient elvish woman walking about. They had somehow managed to figure out enough of the structure that they had several of the towers functioning, and even had reused some of Beacon Hill, refurbishing it. You see her in this very moment before freezing time and walking this away, looking to Beacon Hill as the tower drops. It's a time of great sorrow, and you can sense that all the elves are weeping worldwide, and she's wearing an earring, just like the Scarlet Vanguard has found in their travels. The earring of these ancient elves that connects them to other leaders that are spread out across the world. As they descend themselves now in this time of mourning, you see things go dark for a very long time. The tower has now fallen, and even the room you were in, as you're watching these visions, as you were watching them, it was this room was filling with water. You were entering underwater, and you were struggling to breathe for a second, and remembering you can breathe water. And you're fine. And is this even reality? You're not sure where you are, but there's still something comforting about it all. As you're now totally sunken, and this one sky-reaching tower is broken on its side, you see her laying herself in this room, and looking to a few of the other elves that still lived at this point, but the rest of them now becoming mermaid-like, long, tailed, finned lower halves of their body, whereas she, for the most part, looks somewhat unchanged. Some gills on her neck. Very old. You can see ears are extremely long, the face sort of sunken and long, and she lays herself to rest and starts talking about the other elves, or whatever they are, merfolk. They're decorated. And there's three of them you notice predominantly. Maybe wise men or something, priests that still remain peaceful.
Sorry,
They
Ghost. You're cutting out so much that I can't understand the
Yeah.
last 30 seconds. I've been trying real hard because this is so interesting.
hopefully that fixes that reconnecting. But
There we go.
so you kind of see all these visions of how the ancient elves came here. They found this place. They had lifted up some of its structures that had already been sunk. They refitted Beacon Hill to their own purposes, and they even had some society living down below. But over time, over the course of these visions, there was just less and less of them, and never any children. They never propagated for whatever reason, until eventually within the visions, and you yourself being here in the moment, this tower collapses. It is on its side in the ocean, on the lake floor now. You see the Lady of the Lake is quite old at this time, and for the most part maintained her ancient elvish form, save for some gills at the side of her neck, whereas some others that are watching her go to her rest have full-on lower finned bodies and look more mermaid-like. And there's three of them in particular you notice. They're highly decorated, carrying staffs, and have coral pauldrons and adornments as they see away the last of this ancient elvish line. In her final moments, she explains to you that we never knew what was trapped below. That when we had figured out the powers of this place, it was already too late. The very energies which sustained us and we used to build the metropolis is what brought our downfall. We could not bring new life into this world, and many of us were forever changed. In my final wish, I asked that our hubris be remedied, and that the heartstone to this place, the astral node, kept it beating and its magics thriving. be taken. Men at this time had grown to become lofty beings, some of them of heroics and chivalry. The echoes of their deeds had reached even the waters. And so I found one of their champions, and I bestowed to him the astral node, asking that he seal it away forevermore, lest it be used by man, elf, or any who would seek to use it but not understand its full extent and suffer our tragedy. But alas, behind the curtains of time, and in my death from this place, priests of the shadows, they sought to return to the surface, and they sought the beacon hill to shine once more, glory of our elvish kind. In time, with their dark magics, and commune with the other planes, they reached out, and what they thought would be the salvation of our elvish kind was only a usurper of their thoughts, a malevolent being that had been trapped here before any of us had ever arrived. He corrupted them over eons, and over time they consumed what remained of our kin, but never did they find the astral node. But now, if you are here, the node has been misplaced. I mean, Sid is
Ghost, you're
open,
quiet again.
and if you are here, then the node has been misplaced from the man and brought back to the depths of this lake. And the priests of
Yes.
the shallow would have brought back what was hidden so long ago.
It was taken, yes.
Must be taken from this place and never returned. You are truly a special being. Be in this place with me now. You are not many. I see only one. In a time beyond times, in a place beyond space. You are as you are. Who are you?
Say that again.
She says, "Who are you?" at the end. Like you're in a time beyond times, in a place beyond places, and somehow you are not the many. You are constant. You are one. Who are you? She's interested by this.
My name is Agnesia Sunstorm. I'm just me.
She looks upon you, and in the waters of this now filled room, you can see flashes of pictures being created in the ripples. You see images of yourself, you think, often enough, poised in different garb of different eras and different statures, and they're not all good. You see some things that even look related to your current life, perhaps glimpses of a possible future. And you see one in particular catches your eye because you notice Alikos. Not Alikos, actually. Eris. Just a great conqueror pushing into the mountains. And as you're kind of being transfixed on all your own realities that you're able to glean for some reason in this moment, she tries to shake you out of this before you look too deep in the infinite possibilities. And suddenly pulls something out of her hair that she was wearing like a crown. And presents it to you. It's this
Clap my
diadem.
hand.
It's a diadem of adamantine. And then she points to the fading vision of Eris the Conqueror. And she looks back to this diadem of adamantine she'd given you. See this placed on his brow. This is a diadem of the Sentinels. A safeguarded relic given to only the most esteemed warriors, meant to focus the mind and the soul and the spirit. You have tempered him well, as any matron should. And she smiles at you. Perhaps the rest of my people will find salvation.
Sorry, I can't hear you, Ghost.
Yeah,
This is too important for me not to hear. Please say it again.
Yeah, she hands you the DM and it goes
Can
like,
you, sorry, can you
Yeah.
exit out and come back in? Like,
Yeah.
it's like,
He's underwater.
you
Yeah.
sound fully underwater.
it's the sound
we
effects.
go.
That's what I'll stick with. But she hands you the diadem and kind of like looks at the now fading vision of Eris the Conqueror, and gives this to you and says, "See this put on his brow. It is a sacred relic of the ancient elves, a diadem of the sentinels, given to the most trusted warriors, made to keen the mind and the soul." And then she regards you by saying, "You have tempered him well, as any matron should," and sort of smiles jestingly.
And he smiles and says, I think he tempered himself. Thank you.
All right. She begins to walk back to her sarcophagus.
What do I
Kinda-
need to do? How do I stop this thing?
It will safeguard this node if it has been activated by any means and costs. But its subservience is without purpose, maddened by its own ways and loss. The node simply needs to be taken and the portal sealed and hidden.
Is this something that can be killed? Or is it foolish to try?
If you have come here as one Agnesia Sunstorm, then truly, as a being of the Nexus, I believe you are capable of anything.
Thank you.
As she says that, her form turns into mist and begins to fall into the cracks of the sarcophagus. And then you see this place, slow motion, begin to crumble and crack. And then very quickly begin to crumble and crack, as if you're now seeing hundreds of years or more passing within an instant. And as you feel this whole place is about to collapse on you, once again, your mask becomes a pinpoint. And poof, you reappear back on the sigil with the rest of the Scarlet Vanguard, who only noticed you gone for but a moment and are just getting ready to defend themselves as these golems of rubble begin to amass, held aloft by tangled reality and weird stalks of coral. The rest of you kind of saw her disappear, were readying yourselves in your epic Avengers Assemble type stance. And then right as you're about to roll initiative, she poof, reappears to join the formation. And these creatures have started rolling towards you guys. And on that note, let's go ahead and take our first break of today's game, and we'll come back to jump into this.